everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I am here with my weekly WIP and Chat. Now, if you are new and you aren't sure what that means, WIP stands for Work in Progress, and Chat just means that we are going to spend some time catching up today. Typically, my weekly WIP and Chats will go up on Monday mornings first thing, but I was out of town this past weekend and didn't have the chance to film while I was out of town, but thought, let me go ahead and still film one of these and just have it go up a day late for you guys. I really thoroughly enjoy stopping in to talk with you all. I'm usually here for around an hour, and I know when I'm listening to WIP and Chats, I'll just treat it kind of like a podcast, and I'll most of the time be working on a diamond painting or sometimes folding laundry, what have you. So feel free to do the same. I'm going to be working on a diamond painting with you guys today, and just to give you a really quick rundown of what I'm going to be working on and with, and all of these will be linked below in the description box if you want to go and check out any of these shops. The diamond painting I'm going to be working on is called The First Dragon. It's by Raven Phelan. This is the original artwork. I haven't worked on this one in a couple weeks deliberately because I've been trying to draw it out and really just stretch out how long I'm working on it because I adore this artwork so much and it's really special to me. But I thought it would be nice to pull it out again this evening. I believe, okay, so we have all these golds. We're kind of getting into the wing here. I think we're about like in this section today. So that's what we'll be working on today. And then I have a couple things that are from a recent small shop haul for the most part. Like this pen is from House of Rainbows. They're on Facebook. And I know that they do, this is one of the ones that I won as a right to buy drawing. You know how, some groups will do where they'll post a pen or other accessory. I usually see it with pens though. And you can sort of enter in for the right to win. And, if 20 people enter, then they draw a name or number and that person gets to buy the pen. For a lot of groups and shops and for a lot of people, this is a way that they enjoy buying pens because it doesn't require you to have really fast fingers or to be available at an exact time on an exact day. Of course, there's that element of chance to it, but some people prefer that and find it to be more their style. I like that there's a variety of shops out there that are doing it a variety of different ways. And so, there are some shops that do more of like the fast fingers style drop where, it's Saturday at 2 p.m. You got to be on the Etsy shop refreshing. You got to do that one-click Apple Pay buy from the listing or it's gone. And then there's ones like this. So, there's options out there depending on what works best for you, what's least stressful and most satisfying. Anyway, that was a kind of extended explanation, but I just thought I would mention that in case you didn't know. So I'm using that pen. I haven't used this one yet. And then I'm going to be using, this is Not Your Mama's Mud. This is from the shop Whimsical Daisies on Etsy, and their restocks are, as far as I can tell, random. I've been buying from them for 3.5 years, and I don't know that I've noticed necessarily a pattern. So this one's in the scent Through the Woods. And the sticker on the top is just, they do fun stickers on the top. That's going to go on my single placer. And then I'm going to be using putty from Sensible by Design and the scent Chocolate Coconut. And I wasn't sure whether to mention it. And I don't know. I really just heard about it, but I just wanted to say that I had found out that the owner of this shop, Amy, she did pass away recently, and there's been a lot of really amazing like emotional support and everything in her Sensible by Design Facebook group that's still active, and you can absolutely go and check that out there. But I just wanted to take a moment and acknowledge that she was a big part of the community and like really involved and special to a lot of people, and so I'm so sorry to her loved ones for her loss, but I did want to mention that and just take a moment to acknowledge it. The tray is going to be from Muni Made, and this was one that I shared in a recent small shop haul as well. And then this is a minder I've had for a little while. It's from Agnes Little Minders, and I thought just in honor of like Valentine's Day, but a little bit belated, and with the colors and everything, it totally matches this dragon. But This was one of the ones I snagged. I think it's been a couple of years now since I grabbed this one, but little polymer clay handcrafted minder. So, okay, that is the run of accessories. Now let me go ahead and I think I need to do a strip of tape here on this section, and then I can grab my little ceramic pen cutter, and then we can open up that section. Oh, that was a little crooked. This happens when I try to go fast. Just take my time. You need to take my time. So hello. Normally it's on Monday when I'm doing these videos, but I'm filming this on Monday evening, and I'm hoping that you're doing well and that your week was off to a wonderful start today. And if you were, in the States, and depending on what your job, what holidays it observes, you may or may not have had today off of work or off of school. My kids had off school and my husband had off work, which was really, really nice. And so it's going to be, a short week for us in a lot of ways. But yeah, I know that not everyone has that necessarily, like has today off. I've noticed that these House of Rainbows pens they're really long. Like they're a little bit longer than some of my other pens that I have. I like them. It's been a little while since I've used one of my House of Rainbows pens. Let me pop in my metal multiplacer and swap out the putty. What a messy washi there. That's okay. I will wrap washi tape around the end of the multiplacer if it doesn't fit in there quite tight enough. That is a pretty common thing to have to deal with. And it's, just easy fix. So, Adam is wiggling in the background in his office chair. I can hear it. But yes, happy Monday, happy Tuesday, whatever day it is where you are. Like I said, I really enjoy doing these weekly WIP and chats with you guys, and I feel like a lot has happened this past week. I couldn't resist coming by to stop in. I thought I would really play it by ear because we really just got back into town, and I thought if it works out, great. I will stop by and check in. If it doesn't work out, that is okay too. I'm just gonna see how I feel, and I really was kind of trying to wind down here, and I thought, yeah, no, let's sit down and talk and just see how it feels. But I am happy to be working on this piece again. It's actually not the piece that I traveled with to Arizona, but when I was deciding to pull out a project to work on in this video, this one was just really kind of calling my name. I was feeling ready to pull it back out again, and so I'm looking forward to getting back to it. This is the piece that it kind of feels like it was a rainy day kit before I even had it in my hands. It's one that I was just really, really extremely excited about, beyond thrilled that it was turned into a diamond painting, and I knew I both wanted to work on it right away, but also not necessarily rush through finishing it. And I've shared in the past couple of videos about some struggles I've been having with just feeling like motivated and kind of feeling on the verge of burnout a little bit. And I didn't want to work on this piece when I was feeling that way. I wanted to be working on this piece when I was feeling good. I was feeling happy about it and like enjoying diamond painting in a really like actually enjoying it in a really real way. So that's where I'm at, and I'm happy for that. Actually, maybe we won't start with an AB because I just loaded up fresh putty, and I feel like that's gonna give me a hard time if I try to do that. Okay, let me go grab a different color instead. But yeah, so I was really glad to feel like, okay, yes, I'm excited to work on this one again. And oh yeah, because it's been a few weeks. And the colors just make me so happy. And yeah, we're back to it. The kit that I had taken with me to work on and have been working on more the past week or so has been my custom from Jaded Gem Shop artwork from the artist Petite Madame on Tumblr. And it's fan art of one of my favorite supernatural characters. And I'm working on it in hopes of finishing it and being able to share it, to take it with me to the Supernatural Convention that's next month, and incorporate it into, well, potentially having it signed by the actor that portrays that character, and I might even work it into like a photo op, actually. So we'll see. But I've been enjoying working on that one, and just overall taking my time with diamond painting in general. I am feeling like I've shifted my mindset a little bit, which has been really nice with, for a little while, I felt like I just was enjoying diamond painting quickly and finishing diamond paintings, a lot of them every month. And it was something that I enjoyed and I felt like I had the time and capacity for. And just the past little while, I've kind of been feeling that shifting and just feeling in my brain that I've wanted that to maybe look a little bit different, and like I kind of have a different, I don't know, like I'm needing something different from diamond painting and from like the balance of things in life and everything. Okay, back. So I think what I was saying was just that, I am feeling a shift in terms of, and it's something that I feel like it took me a little while to kind of come to terms with in a way. But I am just learning to be okay with not keeping that same pace of doing a ton of diamond painting in every spare moment and finishing kits, at the same rate and pace that I was before. I feel like that's not sort of the balance that I'm needing from things right now, and I'm really learning to be okay with it, and I'm finding that I'm enjoying the craft more, and that it's working for other various aspects of my life. It's like I've got some stuff I really need to get taken care of related to the house. I want to find a better balance with trying to reconnect with some in-person friends, which I've been doing more of lately, and like I said, for a while, that pace and everything, that was what I had margin for and what I was enjoying. And it's just, I'm not at the point at the moment where I can continue at that really high and fast pace. It's so nice. It feels very relaxing. It's not that I was constantly stressed whenever I was doing a lot of really fast diamond painting with a lot of spending a lot of time on kits and everything, but when it shifted and it did become less enjoyable and more stressful, that's when I knew okay, it's time for a shift and a change, and that is okay. But it took me a little while to be okay with it. But yeah, so I'm in. Oh.
Sorry.
Adam's computer was I thought it was a cat at first. Our cats have been very, very vocal about us having been out of town and everything. And so I was like, oh, the cat's meowing. And I was like, oh, no, that's not what that is. But yeah, so I'm also enjoying kind of branching out and trying some other kinds of projects, like the temperature project and the Craft Buddy stickers, and so yeah, that's, I don't know, it's a little shift. It's a little shift, and not I hope in a bad way. But yeah, so it was fun to take my Castile custom with me as we were traveling, and I did work on that some, and it's not halfway done, but it's close to halfway done. And I am really liking a lot of what I'm seeing about how it's coming together. I am very anxiously awaiting as I get more up into the face and the top half of it, because that's where there's a lot of detail and a lot of things that I'm particularly, let's say, interested in seeing how it turns out. I was really, really amused, and Adam my husband was too, because I posted a picture of her on Instagram. It was my start photo of that kit, which by start photo I just mean it was a picture of the kit, but I hadn't placed any drills on it yet. And I like to, do a picture with all of kind of the matching accessories that I've picked out to go with it, and just kind of marks the start of it. And then I get to kind of see a before picture of how the canvas looks with no diamonds on it. And it's fun to compare to the after. But I had posted that before picture, and I'd included a slide there of the original artwork from Petite Madame, and someone commented on there, and it was really funny. They said, "I promise I'm not trying to be a creeper," which I love it. They said, but this particular fan, this looks like it could almost like be it almost looks like your husband. And I took a closer look at it. It hadn't even occurred to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I totally do see it a little bit. And Adam saw the comment and looked at it, and he was like, oh yeah, no, I can kind of see it too. So that was funny, and really amusing. I don't really think it's like, he looks like he could be related to Misha Collins, I guess, but like, it's not like a dead ringer or anything like that. But that made me chuckle, especially because I hadn't even personally like noticed that resemblance. Then I did. But I appreciate, by the way, that after last week's WIP and Chat, I was just chuckling because when I talked about in there how I thought I might chicken out on showing it, taking it to the convention with me and having it signed, I sort of had in my head, I thought that was more of like a passing remark, but maybe I spent longer talking about it than I realized. But so many of you commented and were like, no, like take it, like don't chicken out, take it. You'll be so glad that you did, or you'll be bummed if you didn't. You might wish that you would have. And these actors have signed a lot of crazy things, and this wouldn't even register if that's something that I'm worried about. So I did want to say, like, thanks for the encouragement, and also for like just very gently twisting my arm and being like, no, go do it. And now I feel a little bit like there's some accountability here. And you guys are totally gonna call me out if I don't come back with proof. So, but no, I do think that is going, that will happen. I really think that's going to happen. And I think I'm on the right track to finish that kit well in time. And yeah, we're a month out now. We're just under a month out. So yay. Speaking of, I've been having a lot of fun with doing some planning with my forever friend that I'm going with. And there was a sale that the convention company was running this past week where they had a lot of the like photographs and autographs and stuff and some of the special experiences on sale. And so we were like kind of texting and coordinating, like, okay, what do we think we want to do? And so we booked a bunch of stuff, and that just kind of like made it that much more real. But oh my gosh, this is happening in a month. So I am getting really excited for that. And I, it's going to be fun. And it's working on that supernatural kit to lead up to it is also kind of a fun way to get my mind in the right headspace for it. I think it's nice when you can work on diamond paintings that you have a connection with the artwork. I feel like that can make it just that much more meaningful. Like I do have a really strong connection to this artwork, and it's one of those, I'm going to be so excited to see it done, but also be really sad when it's done because that means it's done. And believe me, I am still considering picking up a second copy of this kit to just have in case I want to work on it again someday, because it was so special. I don't know, have you guys ever had a kit that you've considered doing that kind of thing with? Like, I'm just going to buy a second one in case I want to do it again someday. I totally understand that that's kind of a first world privilege and problem sort of thing, but I think it's fun. it's a fun hobby. But yeah, so I traveled with that painting, and I had a little, it's basically like a little pencil box, And that's what I put my accessories in to travel with. Like I had my tray, it's a pens, wax, putty, and various other like little things that I wanted to have with me. It was nice because we traveled by car, and so I was able to, like, I got to worry a lot less about it. So I just kind of like a little tote bag with my accessories and some other things in it. And I rolled up my kit, just the canvas, and I put it in one of the tubes that Craftibly used to have and send out with their kits, which I don't think that that's something that they still have available with their new kind of setup where they have like a fulfillment center now instead of their own dedicated like warehouse and storefront. But I know, I mean, you can get, I think, like a telescoping poster tube from Amazon for the equivalent, and that protected the canvas really well and was just really easy to loosely roll up the canvas and tuck it in there. And I like that it's, telescoping, so you can set the length of the canvas and it's adjustable and whatnot. And it technically would have even fit in a suitcase, but since we were traveling by car, I just chucked the tube in the back seat in the trunk, and it was good to go. It was protected and all that. So I really enjoyed, though, this past weekend. I largely unplugged from social media and messages and whatnot, and I had even mostly, like, I didn't do any filming. I had filmed ahead the week before and just sort of pre-scheduled those videos to go live while I was gone, which was really just the 1 or 2 videos. And otherwise, it was nice to take a little break. I think that those can be really good for you, and it's important to give your body and your mind time to rest when you're able. And it can be a little scary sometimes to take a break. It's like, oh, what if it's too quiet for too long, or what if I'm not engaged enough? Or occasionally it's like, oh my gosh, what if I come back to a dumpster fire, which a little bit seemed to have happened when I started clicking around trying to update myself on things after we got home this evening. I was like, oh my. There's a lot that's happened, but okay, everything's fine. But no, genuinely, taking a little break was great. I felt like I just really got to focus on family time and just enjoying myself and resting, and it was good. It was really good. But that doesn't mean I didn't diamond paint. No, I took my diamond painting, and you guys, I got to do a lot of diamond painting with my mom because we were visiting family, and she had recently bought her first couple of licensed diamond painting kits. I mean, they're first like any diamond painting kits, but she has been watching my videos for a while, and she is aware of like the importance of licensing and all that. And she was asking me some questions about it, trying to understand like, how do you know if artwork is licensed and whatnot. She's like, is there anything licensed on Amazon? Those kinds of questions that lots of us have. But she did. So she started out with some licensed kits. So I thought, I didn't even start out with licensed kits because I didn't know any better. But you guys, she's been diamond painting for less than a week, and she is killing it. She is knocking it out of the park. It was so fun. I had mentioned, I think, in last week's WIP and Chat that she was already talking about like, this wax is frustrating, or I'm running into like this issue and I can't get like the drills to flip all the same way very easily. Like, why isn't this working? I was like, Mom, I'm bringing you a whole upgrade kit. Don't buy anything. I'm going to bring you a whole set of upgrades. I was like, I basically have my own little diamond painting warehouse here. Like, I'm going to curate a whole little package of goodies for you, and I'll bring them with me. And so I'm not even kidding you guys. When I was sitting down and pulling various things that I was thinking, okay, here's what I think she would like to try. I kid you not, I brought her like 3 different pens because I thought I want her to get to try out like some different turning styles and thicknesses and whatnot, so she can figure out like what's the most comfortable like kind of pen that she likes the best. And I brought like 3 different kinds of trays from, different companies, different styles, different sizes. I brought 2 or 3 kinds of putty, 2 or 3 kinds of wax, and some Simply Gilded washi tape because she was like, I don't like this washi tape. It keeps like pulling up. I was like, yeah, most washi tape is low tack, but some brands will tend to stick a little bit better if you want to use it for sectioning and stuff. And also, Girlfriend is less than a week into diamond painting, and she's like, I'm gonna try the multi-placer because I think I can move faster this way. I was like, Mom, I think that I didn't start trying a multi-placer until I was about 3 months into diamond painting. It took me a long time. But she was already at like a 4 or 5 placer by the time I got there. And then I gave her tips and she was just kind of off to the races. And oh boy, when she discovered putty, she was a very, very happy camper. She's like, this is it. I love this putty. I'm all about it. And so it was really, really fun. It was so fun and so special to just diamond paint alongside her. And it reminded me a lot of just sort of some of the kind of thoughts and experiences that I feel like many of us have as we're starting out diamond painting. There's a lot of just like the novelty of it. And so you're so excited. And so you really want to spend every spare moment doing it. And you're working your way through some of the learning curves and figuring out like, oh, this is how this kind of works. This is how I like to do that. Just also some of the like diamond painting, I call them rites of passage and kind of, oops, those all went flying. And like some common challenges or blunders, like accidentally mixing 2 colors together or, going through, thinking that you've gotten all of the colors in a section and looking really closely to see if you missed any of that symbol and you're so sure that you haven't. You go to pack away your diamonds, and as soon as you pack up and close that container and put it away, you look down and there's one of that exact symbol of the color that you just put away that you, of course, missed when you were so carefully scrutinizing the canvas, trying to make sure you didn't miss any in that section. It was, all those kinds of things. And I thought she would ask sometimes like, oh, do you ever have trouble with this? Or does this ever happen to you? And I'm like, all of it. This is all completely normal. Poor thing. As it turned out, when I was there and I was looking at it, it turned out that the kit that she started with she started at the bottom of it and it just had oodles and oodles of white ABs. And I thought, what a trial by fire to start out your first diamond painting with. Here's a bunch of ABs. So you've just freshly loaded up your pen with the pink wax. You're all ready to start your diamond painting. You see these beautiful, like extra shiny diamonds. And what do? They want to steal your wax. They stick to your pen. They don't want to line up nicely. They don't all look the same. But I had talked her through some of that, like over the phone and by text. Then when I got there and I saw it in person, I was like, oh, wow, no, that was a lot of AB that you had to work your way through at the very bottom. She's like, yeah, no kidding. But no, it was fine. And then we did just a lot of diamond painting together. Another thing she did that I was like, this is me all the time. Adam will tell you. She's getting to the end of the night and she was really ready to go to bed, but she kept going, oh, just one more color. Oh, just one more color. Oh, just one more. And then, 1.5 hours later, oh my gosh, it's how late I have to go to bed. But just one more color. It was like, this is literally it. If Adam goes up to bed before me and I'm sitting there diamond painting, like, let me just finish this section or let me just finish this color, hon. I'll be right up. And he'll like text me to check out on me and I won't realize that 2 hours have gone by or an hour has gone by. It's like, oh, oops. Like, it's just, you just go, just one more color, just one more section, just one more color in that next section. So yeah, that was just really fun, especially because diamond painting is something that really is a big part of my life. And my mom has been like a long time supporter of mine, like obviously, like personally speaking, but also like she's been watching my videos for a while and is just, even though before she was diamond painting, she's been watching my videos for a while and is so sweet and so supportive. But it is really fun and special to now be like, oh, she's doing the craft with me and it's a fun thing to get to connect over. And she does joke. She's like, I feel like I'm starting like just way ahead of the curve anyway, because I have, you for a daughter and a teacher. And I was like, aw, but also like, Mom, go watch some other YouTubers too. So yeah, it was a good weekend. We were there for a few days and my mom and I did get a good amount of diamond painting in. And yeah, so have you guys ever introduced a friend or a family member or just someone in your life, or coworker, anything like that? Have you ever introduced them to diamond painting? Have they gotten into the craft because of you? And do you have any like fun stories or anecdotes to share, or warm fuzzies to share even? Because that's where I'm at, is just all the warm fuzzies, and also like welcome to the dark side. We have cookies here, but she's a crafter anyway. She's always been a crafter. She's done crafts like, well, I mean, she did cross stitch, like counted cross stitch when I was growing up. I was talking to her a little bit about that, and I was talking to her about how I was like, oh, like, did you use like a hoop, or did you use any of these other like kind of accessories I've heard, stitchers talking about? She's like, oh no, she's like, I would just do it in hand, and I was like, oh, isn't that kind of like an advanced sort of thing? She's like, well, it's tricky. You have to make sure that you have really even tension and everything with your stitches, otherwise they'll pull, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I've seen a lot. My mom has a lot of her completed cross stitch projects hanging in my childhood home, and like they look gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous. So I'm like, oh well, clearly she knew what she was doing. Sorry, I thought that this one, the top of this diamond didn't look quite right, but maybe, I don't know, I don't like the way it looks on there, so I'm just gonna pull it. But my tweezers keep pulling up the diamond next to it instead. Come on. Okay. But anyway, so it was fun. It was good. It was really, really good. And yeah, now I'm back home. Now I'm back to this kit. And she bought 2 kits. So she's like over halfway done with the first kit, and she'll probably finish it here in the next couple weeks. And then she's got a second kit that I'm sure she's going to start right away. Ooh, excuse me. It's been a long day. We spent 7+ hours in the car today driving back. But yes, so I'll tell you a little bit about other things with our trip to Arizona. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but, and I think I've mentioned it at least once before, but, I talk about a really wide variety of different things in my WIP and Chats. But I do sometimes it's deliberate, and really, though, it feels more just sort of natural anyway. But I try to start up front with really talking about more like diamond painting related things, because I know that's typically what more people are here for. But then things that are just like, oh, personal life updates and stuff related to my kids, like that. Oh, wow. Okay, that almost yanked that wax right out of there. Wow. It was putty. It's putty, but still almost grabbed that right out of there. Anyway, so I totally understand that, like, not everyone necessarily wants to hear about like kids or personal life updates. They just kind of want to hear about diamond painting. So I try to roughly structure my WIP and Chats that it makes it easy to kind of peace out if you're if you're like, no, I'm good, I don't want to hear about kids. I get it. It's completely fine. But a lot of you are here for just the regular sort of doing life together type updates. And so I'm happy to talk about that too, of course. But yeah, so our trip to Arizona, we left on Friday afternoon, and we were there. We got there late. It was late. We ran into some really crazy traffic getting out. But then we got there, and everyone went to bed. And then we had all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and drove back. Today, Monday, we left after lunch. So we even had some of today. Though admittedly, I feel like when you get kind of to that last day of a trip and you know that you're leaving, you kind of feel like you can't do anything with your day. At least I don't. I'm kind of like, no, I'm just sitting around waiting to leave, or at least, I have that hanging over my head. But no, it was a really nice weekend. I'm glad we had 2 full days there with no travel involved. And it's good to be home. The cats are very, very, very happy that we are here. It's the longest we've ever left our youngest cat, who's just over a year old. We haven't left him for this long before. We did have friends come over, of course, and check on them and feed them, but the cats did not come out. They refused to come out and greet our friends, but they did fine. They were. They seem to have adjusted relatively quickly to us being back. The one in particular has the zoomies, and occasionally will run around the upstairs and meow at nothing, and then settle back down again. So we'll see how the night goes. But so our trip out, I was not totally sure, kind of honestly, how we would do with the drive. and how the kids would do with the drive, because it was, with no traffic, it's about a 6-hour drive to where we were going. We were going to Sun Lakes, which was where the Airbnb was that my parents are renting. It's south of Phoenix, and it was a 6-hour drive basically with no traffic. And we did unfortunately hit a lot of traffic getting out of town, and so and we stopped, I think, 3 times. Like, one for a longer stop for dinner at just like McDonald's. We were there for, 45 minutes. And then like 2 other times for gas and to stretch our legs in a 6-hour drive. So it was like we tried to make it 2 hours at a time, basically, ish. But, it ultimately was over 7 hours after traffic and before stops. But we made it. And the kids did amazingly. They did great. They did so well. Connor slept for part of it. He's my oldest. He is 8. And Micah was awake the whole time. He's my youngest. He is 5, turning 6 very soon. But no, they did awesome. We had snacks. I had a whole go bag on the floor of the back seat that they could reach into for toys or snacks, or we were constantly, we had a couple of chargers going that were connected to the car. It was great. It was awesome. Except we are about 2 hours into our drive. We have just sat through a parking lots of traffic that was basically a parking lot getting out. And Connor in the backseat goes, "Mom, it hurts when I swallow." And I just kind of looked at Adam, and he looked at me, and I was like, "Okay, bud, when did that start? How else are you feeling? What else is hurting?" He said, "Just that." And we said, "Okay, well, you might be getting a cold. Like, that happens. Sometimes your throat hurts when you start to get a cold, and you kind of have some gunk go down your, from your nose into your throat." And I just told him, I was like, "I didn't bring any of the kids' medicine. I thought we were just going to be gone for the weekend, and no one seemed sick. And also I knew that we were going to have the car. We could stop if we need to," which we did. We decided, because Connor kept complaining about it, because we had said, "Try drinking some water. Try eating, an applesauce pouch or something, just to see if it was something stuck in there." No, it's hurting and it's getting worse. So we made a stop. Got some Motrin, got some cold medicine, and he did perk right up and seemed to be feeling much better, and that was great. So we were relieved. He ate. We were good. Then we got to my, the condo, and he slept fine, but then he very, very quickly went downhill. At one point, he threw up, and he wouldn't eat basically all day Saturday. By the end of the day Saturday, even though we'd given him some medicine whenever it was, we could, and that would help, but he didn't want to eat, and he was continuing to get worse as far as how much his throat was hurting, and then he was starting to spike a fever. And so that was Saturday night, and I said, "I am thinking we need to go to urgent care tomorrow." So we're out of state, and I'm on the phone with insurance on Saturday night, and going, "Hi, so I'm out of state. What can you tell me about what our insurance benefits are if I need to take my kiddo to urgent care?" Because I know that sometimes, not always, but sometimes insurance will have coverage. Hi, I live in the United States. Our health insurance situation is lacking. It is behind modern times and is problematic. And yes, I have to worry about things like, is medical care for my child going to be covered when I am not in my home state and technically in network? That's how it goes. So as it turned out, we actually were going to be able to find, there's a number of urgent cares that were considered national vendors for our insurance. And we have really good health insurance through Adam's work. I feel really lucky with that. That has often not necessarily been the case for us. But I was especially excited because when they showed me how to look up, these out-of-state insurance places, that were near us that would, that we'd be able to use our insurance with, I got all excited because I found one that said pediatric urgent care. And I thought, perfect. It's so nice when you can go to a pediatric facility, whether it's urgent care or emergency room, because if it says pediatric in it, that typically means that these doctors and the staff have training that is specific to working with kids. Do you know where I'm probably going with this? Okay, so We get there. We got up Sunday morning. Connor was worse. And so I'm like, okay, let's go to urgent care. I am strongly suspecting at this point, because he started to get the real nasty breath, and I'm drawing the conclusions. Like, I'm pretty sure he has strep. So I'm going to urgent care. Like, I'm like, I want a strep test. Like, I feel like that's really what we need to do. Got to urgent care, and there's no one else, there's no one else in the waiting room, which is really nice. They got us back really quickly. The medical assistant was nice, but then the doctor, who, I think I misstated this at one point when I was telling friends about this, but it was a nurse practitioner, not a doctor, comes in, and she was not going to use language. She was a piece of work. I'm going to say that she has no business working with kids, and was so, like, my mom's eyes were bugging out of her head. Like, I just could not believe the way that she spoke to me and to Connor. Let me give some examples. So first, she didn't wash her hands or glove up when she came into the room, even though there was a sink in the room. She didn't wash her hands before or after she had examined Connor. She didn't speak to Connor once. She just spoke to us, and she was very abrupt and condescending with us when we were giving symptoms and stuff. He said, yeah, like he's really talking about how his throat hurts a lot, like every time he swallows. And she's like, well, yeah, that's what a sore throat is, with that tone, with that exact wording. And she had looked in his throat at one point, and then we had to ask her, I was like, oh, how does it look? She said, okay. And she's like, but I'll order us, like, we'll do a strep test anyway. And okay, thank goodness, because Connor really didn't want to have his throat swabbed, because he knew it was probably going to make him gag and his throat hurt, so he didn't want that. The tech came in, she was really wonderful with him. Thankfully, that assistant was good with him. And then the nurse practitioner came back in. She's like, well, the rapid strep test typically takes like 10 minutes. She came in after a minute. She said, it's positive. And I made a comment. I was like, oh, wow, like that was fast. And she said, yeah, if it's positive, it's positive. Just like, lady, who piddled in your Cheerios this morning? Like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, I've seen a lot of doctors in various settings, including a number of urgent care visits, because I have young children, some of whom have been sick prone at various points in their life. And I have never, ever had someone talk to me or treat me this way. I was appalled. I was furious. But I was like, I got the strep test that I wanted. I got the antibiotic prescription that I wanted. And good riddance. I hope that your facility sends me one of those automated surveys for feedback. And whether or not it does, best bet I'm hopping over to Google reviews. And I'm not that kind of person. I get it. I'm like, sometimes people have a bad day. There's context going on. I can misread tone. You guys, that's not what was going on here. I was furious with how she treated me and my kid. It was so rude. So incredibly rude, and I thought inappropriate. So, yeah, that was that experience. But in the end, we got the antibiotic prescription. Connor turned around within 12 hours, feeling better, being able to eat a little bit, and he's today, 48 hours later, he's just back to his normal self. So thank goodness for antibiotics. And I knew, I was like, this is strep. So that happened. And then, because never a dull moment, it's supposed to be like a relaxing weekend with family. We were talking about going to a children's museum and all these fun other kind of activities. We did none of that. We just chilled at home. But Micah, my youngest, did get restless at one point. And so Adam, and I think my mom took him out for a walk. And this is Arizona. And at one point, Micah, apparently on the walk, grabbed a cactus, like a live cactus, and ended up with some of those spines in his hand, and came home, and he was really favoring, when they got back from the walk, he was really favoring that hand and really upset. And so I had to go get my tweezers, and Adam was kind of holding Micah, and my mom was holding a flashlight over him, and I pulled a number of those little spines out of his hand, and then we did a bath to help get anything else out, and he's completely fine. Doesn't look like there's any that were still in there, anything that got infected or anything. But I just thought, of course he grabbed a cactus. Like, of course he did. And when he went on a walk again, like the next day, he was like, oh, cactus, no touching. And so I was like, well, I mean, at least he knows, but poor guy. But, so it was like an eventful trip, but also just like, it was fine. Excuse me. It was very relaxing. It just felt like we get to just do life together. And it felt like it was just a little kind of taste of what this could look like my parents are talking about, in a couple of years selling their big house in Ohio and, like potentially, like, I don't think they'd move to Phoenix full time, but I think they'd snowbird to Phoenix and live there like 6 months, like 4 or 5, 6 months out of the year. I'm not sure how much. And, if they did that, this was kind of a taste of what we could do on a long weekend, just drive out and like spend a long weekend with them and drive back. And so I loved that we got to do that. It was a really special trip. It was very low stress. I loved that we were able to drive and not fly. I wasn't worried about traveling with kids because it was like, no, it's just us. If Micah's getting screechy, he's not going to bother anyone else. And if we want to take a break and stretch our legs and get out of the car, we can. We're not stuck on an airplane. It was very relaxing. And it was like, excuse me. It's the first time we've really done a road trip of any length with our kids before as a family of 4. And it just felt like it was a roaring success in spite of Connor getting strep and which I think he must have gotten at school. Probably he's probably exposed on Wednesday or Thursday if he was showing symptoms on Friday on our drive there. In spite of that, in spite of Mikey grabbing a cactus, and in spite of me forgetting some like really important things like the kids' toothpaste and the white noise machine and these other things, it was all fine. Like we were able to handle it. We ran to the store when we needed to. And adapted. Otherwise, the boys slept in the same room with zero issue. And it was wonderful, you guys. I'm so glad. It was a wonderful weekend in so many ways. And it was just the breather and the family time that I needed. So that's kind of the big updates. That was really the big thing that I had going on this week was leading up to and prepping for that. And then actually going. So I could see that kind of trip just being that much easier the more we do it. My parents are a couple of years out from actually, selling their place and potentially moving and starting to snowbird to Phoenix, but they're there for 2 months this year. So we're, like I said, still getting a taste of it. And it's so tempting to like go back again next month, but I don't think that's really going to be practical because my mom is coming here for a week. Yes, from Phoenix to here, for a week to, in part to like celebrate Micah's birthday, but also because she is going to, just spend some time with the kids while I'm at the Supernatural convention for a few days. And that was deliberate on our part. I was like, hey, if you wanted to come out, that could be good timing. You could have some extra time with the kids. I'm sure Adam wouldn't say no to having an extra set of hands. My husband is 100% capable of watching our kids solo. It's not like I'm bringing in my mom because I don't think he can. He absolutely has, and he's done it before and he'll do it again. But this just like, well, why not? Like, if you're planning to come out in March anyway, why not do this then? And we like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So she'll be here she's coming out for a week. And I hope that she brings her diamond painting. So I want to diamond paint with her some more. I'm guessing she'll be on her second painting by then. She got some really cute seasonal kits that she's planning to display like at home. She has some, oh, Skip. Come here, kitty. Hi, baby. No, I thought he would chirp again. No. But yeah, she's actually planning to display them. She has some like little spots where she does little seasonal decor and thought that would be cute to do. So I love that. But other things that are going on, after the whole door fiasco last week, we got quotes from a couple of different companies because we were so floored by the quote that we got from the first company. The cost was unreal. And I thought, is this seriously how much it's going to cost to get this glass door replaced? And the second place we got a quote from, it was lower, but it was still way more than Adam and I had sort of gone into it with our completely with no context and no real information to make that guess on. So I acknowledge that. And it just feels like everything costs so much more than it used to, or than you think it should, especially, I don't know, like home related stuff too. But they're supposed to come out tomorrow to do that replacement. They had to order the door because it's a double pane door. And we did hear this from all three places that we talked to. They all said the same thing, and so did Google. So I'm inclined to believe this is true. But apparently if you have a double pane glass door, it has to be, like, you can't just, even if just one pane breaks, you have to replace the whole thing because there's a special seal that's between the two doors, and it's done at the factory, it's done at the manufacturer, and you can't just replace the one glass door because there's not a way of sort of replicating that seal or, remaking that seal. And then moisture gets in between the glass and it just looks fogged up, or worst case scenario, it gets like mildewy, or the moisture can cause like long-term issues like cracking again or something. So it was just like, okay, well, apparently this is the thing, and we do need the dual pane for temperature. Like, that's just the thing in California with our insulation. You really need to do the double pane glass door. So they're supposed to come out tomorrow, like I said, but we are getting rain again. We're actually, I think, supposed to be under like another flood watch. But, so I don't know, like, if they're going to call. They're supposed to come out first thing tomorrow. I have a feeling they may call and be like, yeah, we're not doing this in the rain, which makes sense to me. But I don't know. There's a lot of things that would hypothetically make sense to me about this situation, but just aren't the case. So I'll be curious to see if they actually come out or if they're going to cancel on us. But gotta get the kids like umbrellas and stuff ready for the walk to school in the rain tomorrow. It'll be great. But I'll be glad to have that done. And then it's a little bit of an adjustment to sort of shift back into regular life mode after a trip. It's like you get home and it's like, okay, we're adjusting to being back like with the cats and with our routine, and the kids are happy to be back in their own beds. I'll be glad to be in my own bed tonight for sure, because Adam and I were sleeping on like a pull-out day bed, and the mattresses, it's an Airbnb. It is what it is, but the mattresses were not. They were not super comfortable. My back was kind of hurting this morning, but it was perfectly fine for a few nights. So yeah, I get back in the routine at home. I got to go grocery shopping tomorrow because we tried to really make sure we weren't leaving any food in the fridge, even though we were only gone for a few days. But yeah, so as far as what I have been reading and watching and listening to, I don't really have anything exciting to report on the reading front, aside from just adding more books to my list thanks to watching book YouTube channels a bit more often, and watching rather. I did finish season 1 of Shadow and Bone. Thank you so much for those of you that gave recommendations for things after I mentioned it in last week's WIP and Chat. But I did enjoy the first season, and I started the second season, and fully agree. Just from what I am seeing I've seen in the first season, like, it's such a bummer that the season 3 got canceled and that the spinoff got canceled too. But it is making me want to read the books. So that is for sure on my radar for when I kind of feel that book itch coming back, when I feel like I have the bug again to read. And then listening to you guys, can I tell you that my husband he's a wonderful person. He is a saint. I drove by choice for the most part. I'll explain. The whole road trip, I drove on the way there mostly because I get car sick in the car if I'm a passenger. I do fine if I am the one driving. I do not get car sick. But if I'm a passenger, and especially if it's like stop and go traffic or anything like that, forget it. Like, I will just feel so car sick. And so I said, if it's okay, I'll drive. And he knew that I would, because we've been married for 13 and a half years, and together before that too. He knew this is a thing with me. Like, I get motion sick and car sick if I'm a passenger. And we'd originally planned to swap, but I was, doing fine. And I was like, actually, I wouldn't mind being the one driving. But anyway, back to what I was saying. He had zero complaints at all about me just basically putting my Taylor Swift library on shuffle for the whole drive there and the whole drive back. He was even like, he was singing along every once in a while to songs that he knew, and we were talking about it a little bit. And he did, of course, at the beginning. He said, yeah, no, I won't complain about listening. I won't say anything about, listening to Taylor Swift the whole time. He's like, because I know what you would say. And do you guys know what you say if the passenger complains about the music? Driver picks the music. Shotgun shuts his cake hole. It's a Supernatural reference. It's okay. Don't worry. It's not me being vulgar or rude. But I love that he referenced that because he knew. So, no, we listened to just Taylor Swift on shuffle. But it was funny because, okay, children in the car, little ears, they really are absorbing and hearing everything. And Connor knows certain words that are bad words that we don't say, or they're, words that adults can say sometimes, but certainly not him. And as you get a little bit further into like Taylor Swift's library, she does have some swear words later in her library. And so it took me a little while, like every time like a song would start that was from one of her a little bit later on albums, I'd try to quickly scan through the lyrics in my brain and go, wait, does this one have a swear word in it? Every once in a while I'd get surprised by it, and Adam would be like, Katie, when it would happen. I was like, I'm sorry, I forgot that was going to be there. It's just the one time. But that was fun. And, he was very sweet about just being like, yeah, no, driver picks the music. But he didn't even complain about it, which was, it was nice of him. Made for a very relaxing and enjoyable drive for me, honestly. But, that's the update for the week and the weekend. And as far as what I have in mind for this week, to be honest with you, I haven't really thought a lot about content for this week just yet because I just let my brain happily be in vacation mode the past few days. But as I'm just kind of sitting and thinking about it at the moment, I do have some things I could use to unbox. As always, always stuff to unbox. I think I want to show you guys my Craft Buddy sticker book progress and open up some more of those mystery packs with you because those are burning a hole in my pocket. And I don't know, should I try to finally get to one of those accessory stash videos this week maybe? I gotta prep for that though. And I really also need to prep for and do a cross-stitch conversion, the giant project check-in update. I think I've had enough space from it now that it's not gonna make me feel, there goes the cat, it's not gonna make me feel like burned out just the prospect of doing a video related to that project. But yeah, so those I guess are kind of the things I'm using over, but we'll see what actually pans out. I have to try to shift my brain back into the mode of the regular week and what I think I want to do. So it'll take me a little bit because, like I said, we're just freshly home. But thanks for spending some time with me today. Thank you for understanding, of course, that I did not have a WIP and Chat for you on Monday as usual, but as always, you guys are just the best. You're so kind and gracious and understanding, and I very, very much appreciate you a whole lot. So if you made it all the way to the end, how about an emoji that has something to do with the desert? Maybe a cactus. Is there a cactus emoji or two? If there's like a cactus emoji. If not that, something related to the desert. And I hope you enjoyed hearing about our trip. I liked all the accessories that I worked with today. And we made a little bit of progress here on our dragon scales. It's going to keep coming together. And I'm happy. I'm happy to be back to this project. It feels nice to be back to it. So I hope that you are doing well. Let me know what you were up to in the comments section, along with that little cactus emoji. And if you're not already subscribed, and you made it all the way to the end here, you will probably enjoy it here. So feel free to subscribe if you'd like to stay up to date with my diamond painting content. You guys, I don't really talk about milestones very much here at all because I don't want that to be like a focus or a thing. But as of the time of this filming, I am, I think, about 50 away from 30,000 subscribers. So thank you in advance to just Well, just not just even in advance. Thank you to all of you that are here and that have even let that number get as high as it has. Like, that's just absolutely amazing. And that's because of you guys. So, yeah, I guess if that milestone happens between now and next week's WIP and Chat, yay, thank you. And thanks for being a part of making it happen. But okay, I'm really going to let you go. Have a day and a week that's as amazing as you are, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.